I'd like to greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor religious beliefs may be. It doesn't matter whether you're the richest or the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter whether you are the proclaimed toughest to the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't even matter whether you're my family, friends, or my proclaimed enemies. It doesn't matter whether you like my YouTube videos or not. It doesn't matter if you're dark-skinned or light-skinned. I greet you all with the same universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. Today happened to be Tuesday, May the 12th, 2020. It's about 11:33 a.m. 2020, the time of change, time of vision. If you see that group of geese and their family, they're gathered right there because I just passed by. They didn't run. They went close to the water. They came from over here to the water as I came down the road a few minutes ago and brought them something to eat for their babies. That's me. I'll feed animals, fowl of the air, even human beings. I'll even feed my enemies knowledge. In the Quran it tells you, it says, Iqra, Iqra, Iqra. Read, read, read. It also tells you to seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. A baby seeks knowledge from a cradle to the grave. And when the baby is in the cradle, the baby is seeking how to get attention when they're hungry, so they may cry. The baby seeks attention when they're wet, since they can't talk. They may cry or do something to make the moms or the dad or whoever taking care of them that's responsible to let them know that they're wet. If they're sick, they'll do the same thing. As they get older, when you are a child, you act like a child. When you become grown, you act grown. Some people do. The worstest thing that you can have in this world is an old fool stuck in their ways. See, a young fool can change. Just like those moms and dads is teaching their children, their babies, how to be safe. They let them know it's okay to go back on this side that they're going to now, to the right. The other ones, they're eating down there. Then you have some across the waters. But you know, I just want to say, I can feel tension in the air here in Charleston, Missouri, maybe even in Southeast Missouri. And there's a reason why. And all I can do is pray that somebody find a way to bring peace back into the black community, especially here in Charleston, Missouri, and every place else. You see, God knows what's going on. God knows what's wrong and what's right. And you see, sometimes we as human beings, we try to interfere with God's plan. But when we interfere in God's plan, we end up on the wrong side of the fence. I've been on the wrong side of the fence before. When I say the wrong side of the fence, I done been behind bars. Sometimes we haven't did anything wrong, but God want to reserve us for a reason, so he may incarcerate some of us physically. Some of us are incarcerated mentally. It's called mental slavery. But I'm hoping for peace, praying for peace. And I want to just say, me and my children enjoyed ourselves up in Chicago this past weekend. You see, we was able to stay into some fancy hotels. You know, and we was praying for what happened here in Charleston, Missouri while we was gone. And only one of my critics got on there with ignorant comments. saying that I just told him where I was at. He's 20 minutes or 22 minutes away from me. And I know he's too ignorant to even know where I was at. The place where I was at, people like him is not even allowed there. But we ain't gonna dwell on him. I'm gonna dwell on something else. When you do good, God will bring it back to you. We did a lot up there to help people out, but look what God did to us. Anybody know the numbers from last night here in Missouri? It was 999s last night. $1 straight. Let me see if I can get it straight, y'all. $1 straight. Okay, can I get it there? What is that, the 5th? No, that ain't the 5th. That's the 11th. Yesterday, the day the 12th. Had 4 of them, I cashed 1 in. That's $2,400. My critic was saying I was waiting on a stimulus check. I was living before stimulus checks even came out. And if I was waiting for a stimulus check, if you can count 600 times 4, that's 2 stimulus checks. You see what I'm saying? And if I get my other one, that'll be 3,600. Whatever it is, it's a blessing. If my children get 500, that's a blessing. But let me tell y'all this here. A story about when I was in the pen in the 90s. Doing time with individuals that actually ran organizations. Not just local, but nationwide. In 1992 in Cabrini Green, 2 fractions of gangs was at war. A 9-year-old boy was shot and killed accidentally. The young boy was the great-grandson of one of the most high-ranking chiefs there was. He deceased now, may he rest in peace. But it could have been a big thing. But him and all the other chiefs up under the 6 and the 5, they came together. They let the peace be still. They took care of what they had to take care of. Even Jim Brown, the former football player, got involved, and they went to Kansas City and had a conference. The peace stood still for a while. But Martin Luther King said it well. He said, somebody got to have sense in this world. And I know it hurts when you lose a loved one, because I lost a loved one. And I told y'all about the story when my brother got killed. I could have retaliated, me and some of my family and friends, but I chose not to. But just because I chose not to, that didn't mean some of my other family and friends wouldn't. But I asked them and prayed that they didn't, and they didn't, and they let God and the law handle it. The law didn't take care of their business, but God took care of his. But anyway, my big message is, Rodney King said it too when he was beaten by some of the Los Angeles police in the 90s. Unjustly beaten. Rodney King said, can we all just get along? Some people ain't gonna want to get along. Some people want to do wrong all their lives. Them geese there, when human beings go by walking or driving, they move out of the way. They learn to know some of them that's peaceful and some not. Anybody know me, I'm peaceful. But it's some people in this world like Mikey Jones, they're gonna be ignorant all their lives, to look for other people to follow behind him. But I thank God didn't nobody follow behind his ignorant comments when we was talking about the death and the injury of a husband and wife here in Charleston, Missouri. You see, Mikey stayed on ignorant stuff. Individuals like Mikey, God has a place for them. And if any of y'all that's around Mikey, even family or friends, it's best to stay your distance from them, because I done seen innocent people get taken off the face of this earth for being around ignorant individuals like Mikey, because people gonna come for him. Not me. His ignorance gonna get him took out. We know one thing about Mikey Jones. Mikey Jones don't care about the violence in the harm in the black community. Anytime I talk about race or white supremacy, Mikey always got something to say. But when we talk about black on black crime, Mikey ain't got nothing to say about it. Y'all notice Mikey didn't have nothing to say positive about the death of a young man in Charleston, Missouri this past weekend in the injury of his wife. I prayed for both, because one was white and one was black. A racist person ain't gonna do that. But let me go cash the rest of these in and give my daughters and my daddy something. And then you see how God let me get that money back that we spent in them expensive hotels in Chicago. Y'all keep the peace be still. Let's pray. God bless.